Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Jarrett Mark Crump. Crump was shot and killed on Monday, November 25, 2013, in the 800 block of West Century Boulevard in the Vermont Vista neighborhood of South LA, according to LA County coroner records. Kenneth Clay and Andre Vincent Jackson were subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. On November 25, 2013, Jarrett Crump, the murder victim, picked up Angela, the attempted murder victim, to go out for some food. As Crump stopped his green Infiniti at the intersection of Hoover and Century, a dark SUV pulled up alongside Crump's car, and a man in the SUV leaned out of the passenger side window and began knocking on the driver's side window of Crump's car and yelling at him. Crump drove away, and the SUV followed him, weaving through traffic. When Crump stopped at the intersection of Century and Vermont, a man with a gun exited the SUV and began shooting at Crump's car. Crump died from a fatal gunshot wound to his neck, and a bullet grazed Angela in the shoulder. At trial, a criminalist from the LAPD testified that she collected multiple bullets and bullet fragments from inside Crump's Infiniti. In all, the criminalist observed 11 bullet impacts to Crump's vehicle, from which she determined that there were 3 pathways or trajectories of shots fired at the vehicle. A witness who had been driving behind the SUV saw the beginning of the shooting before ducking down. The witness memorized the SUV's license plate number, 6SUF397. The SUV belonged to Kenneth Clay. On November 26, 2013, the day after the shooting, LAPD officer Chris Ressa and his partner took defendant Andre Jackson and Kenneth Clay into custody during a traffic stop of Clay's SUV. The officers called detectives to the scene and assisted in the search of the SUV. The search recovered a backpack from the SUV with Clay's name on it. Inside the backpack was a loaded .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun. The ensuing investigation led homicide detectives to Kenneth Clay's sister, Dorothy Clay, known as Feather, and to an informant, TF. During a recorded interview with homicide detectives on October 2014, TF identified himself as being from 94 Hoover. He said that he had been with Jackson, Kenneth Clay, and Feather on the day of the shooting, driving around in Kenneth Clay's SUV getting high on cocaine when the group saw a Hispanic dude from Main Street. Feather said she saw a green Infiniti and stated, "Oh, that's Mondo right there, that's Mondo." TF said Jackson was waving a .40 or .45 caliber handgun around. TF told Jackson, "Don't go, you're gonna be in jail." TF asked to be let out of the car and they dropped him off before the shooting. According to TF, Jackson admitted the next day that he shot 2 people in the green Infiniti because he thought he was a member of the rival 98 Main Street Mafia Crip named Armando Felix, who drove a similar green Infiniti. According to TF, defendant Jackson said they chased the car, and when it stopped at a red light at Century in Vermont, Jackson got out and approached the Infiniti and started shooting in the driver's side. Jackson said he hit a girl and he killed and he shot out the boy. Jackson said it was the wrong person and that Feather's stupid ass told him it was Mondo. According to TF, Jackson said, "But when I got up to the car, it wasn't him. I just shot it up anyway." Feather testified extensively at Jackson's trial under a grant of immunity. Reduced to its essence, Feather testified that she was in her brother's SUV with her brother and Jackson when they saw a green Infiniti. Her brother was driving and he chased the Infiniti until it stopped at a red light. Feather testified she saw Jackson shoot into the Infiniti. When Jackson got back in the SUV, he said words to the effect that he shot them and they were dead. He referred to the shooting victim as Skirts, meaning members of 98 Main Street Crip. LAPD officer Richard Delgado, who explained gang culture generally, opined that defendant Jackson was an active member of Hoover. Officer Delgado also testified that the Hoover criminals and 98 Main Street Mafia Crips were violent rivals. In July 2014, the people filed an information jointly charging defendant Jackson and Kenneth Clay with murder and attempted murder. The charges against both defendants were tried to a jury in December 2014, at which time the prosecution presented evidence establishing the facts summarized above. Kenneth Clay's trial counsel argued to the jury that Clay was so high on cocaine that he was out of it and had no idea what was going on, and that he had not been driving the SUV. Further, there was not actual evidence that he was a gang member. The jury acquitted Clay. A jury convicted Andre Vincent Jackson of premeditated murder and attempted premeditated murder and found true the gun and gang enhancements. The court sentenced defendant Jackson to a total prison term of 85 years to life. Jarrett Mark Crump was 21 years old at the time of death.